Liftoff will start in T-minus 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition.
It's time! 15 seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan, open, Chicago with the lead! Behind the screen, Piper got a piece of it, it comes off. The Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship.
Tying run at second, 2 out, Palmero over the head of Jenks. Uribe charges, throws, out! And the White Sox have won the World Series.
To the far side around the 8-yard line to Hester. Under it, and to the middle with the 15, to the 20, breaks free of the 25, to the 30, to the outside, 40, midfield, 40, 30 to the coast, 20, 15, Hester 5. Oh!
Toward Bryant. You will glove it in front of Rizzo. It's ENCORE. And the Chicago Cubs win the World Series.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome to Shawn Sierra Sports right here on Sports Zone Chicago. I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra. Thanks for tuning in. If you're watching us on Facebook Live, well, then I guess you found us on Facebook. And if you're not following us on Facebook, what? Come on, go to Facebook, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the like button, and now you're following Sports Zone Chicago. Still didn't make the switch yet. We got to get it to Shawn Sierra Sports, the old Shawn and Maya page. We'll do that, and I'll let you know when we get that. It should be done the next day or so. All right, if you're watching us on our YouTube channel, excellent. And if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, for real, come on, guys, go to YouTube, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the subscribe button, but also click the notification button. That's the little bell next to it, and that'll let you know anytime a show from Sports Zone Chicago is going live. Get it? Got it? Good. Now, we got a great show, but I need you to get interactive. So whatever platform you're watching us on, whether it's Facebook or our YouTube channel, leave a question or comment on that platform. It'll come up here on the screen. We'll put in the thread. We'll put it up on the screen. We'll incorporate it into the show. And that, my peoples, is what makes this the best morning Chicago sports talk show around. And that's you. So keep them coming, baby. Questions, comments, smart-ass remarks, because ain't nobody scared over here. Like The Rock said, baby, don't sing it. Just bring it. Now, let's check the chat. It's jumping already like crazy. And yeah, baby. Let's see who's checking in. My man Armando Emeterio. That's what's up, Junior. What's up, Papa? How are you? Thanks for tuning in. Cornelius Squall says, what up, Shawn Sierra sports fans. There's some great tennis matches this past weekend. Yeah, there were. At Roland Garros, red clay. The Roland Garros, the French Open. Nice. Livette Lee's checking in. Good morning, y'all. She says for us, my man Mashawn from the Mr. Southside. What's on the House Music Monday? Go Sox! We did, baby. We took 2 out of 3. Very nice, very happy. Jay Grizz checking in. What's up, Papa from Philly? Sports Zones, what's happening, family? Hope everyone had a blessed weekend. Likewise, it was a beautiful weekend. The Sox game was gorgeous with a nice little breeze Friday night. Ooh, Charlie. All I got to say is this. If they want Sox fans, I got fuzzies. That's what it is. Reinsdorf, if you want to increase the numbers at your ballpark, give something Mexican away every game or once a week. Give something Mexican away. Have a Frida Kahlo day. Have a, with a tank top or a basketball jersey or another football jersey with the Mexican logo, something. Because, man, every single paisa in the tri-state area, Indiana, Illinois, and Wisconsin, was at that game on Friday. I got there at 4 o'clock. Mind you, first pitch is at 6:40. The parking lot's open at 3:30. I was stuck. All right. I came in off the Ryan, took 39th. I couldn't even cross the bridge. There were too many people coming southbound on Wentworth, turning on the 39th in front of me. So I turned down Wentworth, went to 41st, which is Root Street, came down Wallace, and got all the way to 39th to 38th Street. And from 38th to 37th, it took me 25 minutes. I didn't even get to 37th. I turned down the alley. It was crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. I finally get in the lot. I walk up to the pad, the tailgating pad that we had reserved for us, and it's right by gate 2. The line to get in for the Mexican jerseys was a good 65, 70 yards long. 65 or 70 yards long and that's only one entrance. And I was like, well, man, dude, I said, I damn sure ain't going to get my freaking Mexican jersey today because I ain't standing this line. I'm going to drink and have me a smoky smoke. Have me a stogie. Oh, man, that was something else. You want to tell just have something, give another baseball jersey, give another basketball jersey. It says Los White Sox, anything that says Los White Sox. My goodness. That place was packed. And then they were playing every inning. They were playing various Mexican artists for the music. It was crazy. And at the end, it was awesome. They had the fireworks on Friday, and then they had the more Mexican music. They didn't finish with Chente. I think they should have finished with Chente. But man, they had some Maná in there. They had some Selena in there. It was really, really good. Great time. Great time was had by all. And I'm telling you, I had a good 10 different people on my timeline who were at the game. I was like, damn, that's crazy. Amos checking in. It's at the top of the morning. How are you, sir? Bear down, baby. Bear the freak down. That's what we're talking about. Ha, Mr. Smokefella checking in himself. What up, Ben? Yes, sirree, Bob. Ant-Man says, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. You're damn right it is, baby. Oh, Jay Grizz, you took a trip down south, huh? It's definitely 5 o'clock here in Tampa. What you doing in Tampa? A little vacay with the fam? If the school's out, or what's up? Beautiful, nice, sunny 80 degrees. Okay. I see you, Papa. I see you. Patty Laird's in the house. Good morning, ma. How are you? This is Happy House Music Monday to everybody. It is House Music Monday, baby. You see it. I got the shirt on. We're rocking it. Dear Shawn. Oh, Jeremiah checking in. What's up, mijo? How are you? Thank you for tuning in. Not like you have a choice. You're only 2. But thank you. King Booker World checking in. Says salute everyone. And Shawn. King Booker World, what's up, Papa? How are you? Man. So hope you guys had a great weekend. It was a beautiful weekend. It's going to be even nicer weekend this weekend coming up for Father's Day. So fathers, make sure you get your flowers. Make sure you get your dinner taken out. You know, fathers, you know, we always get the short end of the stick. Why don't we grill? You should grill. Oh, no way. Dope, man. Jay Grissom had to bring the kids out here to be with their grandparents for the summers. So you going back to Philly by yourself? Shut up. Don't. Yeah. Oh, you fly back next Monday. Oh, okay. Okay. I thought you dropped them off for a little bit and got to get you're going to be wilding out in Philly. Grandparents, I'll be back in 2 weeks. I got to go wild out. But that's good, man. That's awesome. Your kids get to hang out with the grandparents. That's awesome. 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 Well, for a second there, I thought I was going to be checking the Philly news, man. Make sure Jay Grizz wasn't arrested and for acting a fool. Oh, he's flying, yeah, by myself. Oh, snap. Okay. Nice. I'll keep an eye on the police scanners, bro. I got to go back to work that out. Hey, shit. I ain't mad at you, Papa. And bills ain't going to pay themselves. That's for sure. I learned that out. But I hope you got out to enjoy this weekend, people. It was awesome. Great weekend. Again, making memories, like I said, a lot of sports. And that's the cool part about sports, is that you make memories with family, friends, and loved ones. And a lot of times you don't even remember the game. You really don't. You remember the time you had. I'm telling you, I had at least 10 different people from my timeline. My friends on Facebook were all at the Sox game. I didn't even know. It was crazy. Not everybody went to the tailgate that I was at. Somewhere in the official, the Chicago White Sox tailgate in front. They had the Mexican music and they had the band, and it was dope. Ours was lit. But again, this is what it's about. And this is the great thing about sports, is that this can bring people together like this. And I love it. All right. And I really, really, really love it. So, again, I hope you guys had a good one. Right. And most of the usual suspects are checking in today. So they made it through the weekend. So again, that's another reason to be grateful for. Man, I tell you about it all the time. Listen, be grateful. An attitude of gratitude is what you need. All right. All right. There's a lot of people who were not on the wake up list this morning. Unfortunately, all of us here are. All right. That's one reason. That's a huge reason to be grateful. All right. Man, the White Sox looking good. Our White Sox. Cubs had a little hiccup. They had to step up in class, in competition. And not saying that they're not good. They're not as good as the Tigers right now. Tigers are good. So are the Cubs. All right. They ran into a buzzsaw with Skubal and Flaherty. It's tough. And the Cubs were undermanned. All right. Your top two starters, Justin Steele and Shohei Managa, are out. This is why he lost the series 2-1. Oh, it's funny. You guys lost game 1. And my guy Junior, and his son Mondo are on a text thread. So after every time the Cubs win, they'll send me a W flag. And I'll send them the emoji with the eyes. All right. So when they lost on Friday, I sent them the L flag. I sent them the L flag, and what I send my buddy Luis is every time the White Sox win, I'm like, hashtag a White Sox winner. So I sent them the L flag, the hashtag a White Sox winner. Then I sent him the picture of Ice Cube. Today was a good day. He was pissed. Junior gave me the middle finger. That was awesome. Jay Grizz talking about the Cubs. You know what? Here's the thing. I was going to talk about that, but we'll talk about it. I said umps robbed. They robbed the SuperBack that last game by tossing Nico. Here's my thing. First of all, the umpire grow a pair. Okay? Grow a pair. All right. He didn't say you're a piece of shit. He didn't say you're a child molester. He didn't say you're a pedophile. He said you're having a bad day, a bad game. Okay? You got to have thicker skin than that. By the same token, why are you saying that to the ump? The ump doesn't come up when you're 0 for 3 and say, hey, you're having a bad game today. Like, it works both ways. I get it. You rely on the ump for calls. I just wouldn't be talking to the ump like that because he can screw you again next time. Well, not next time because he kicked you out. But I think he was a little too thin-skinned, the ump was. Like, seriously, grow up here. Is this your first day umping? You've never, that's the worst you've heard. You're having a bad game. That's literally all he said. And they had a hot mic on there, and you heard, you're having a bad game. You're out. That's it. I thought that was very, very premature. I thought it was very childish. I thought it was very immature. Grow a pair, ump. Seriously. Let him drop. Let him drop. Become a man. Because if that's what pisses you off and gets under your skin, you're having a bad game. What kind of sissy soft sucker stuff is that? You're having a bad game. Because you were having a bad game. Because that pitch was nowhere near the strike zone. It was a good 2-3 inches below the strike zone. And you rang him up. That was a bullshit call. But by the same token, don't get in the face either. You know what I mean? Like, he shouldn't have thrown him out. Shouldn't have thrown him out. Because here's what you should do as a player. If you know he's giving that low strike, you got to protect it then. Because look, it's not the first time umps have given pitchers a little leeway. Either they'll take the inside corner, the outside corner, they'll make it a little high, or they'll give it a little low strike. And you as a batter have to adjust to that. The only thing you want is that it's called consistently. If it's called consistent, and I hear you, Jay Grizz, because that was a little league strike zone ump was calling. And that's fine. But if you call the little league strike zone the same way for both squads, then I'm cool with it. Then you, as a baseball player, have to adjust, because this is what you've been taught. This is what you've been dealing with since in Babe Ruth, in Pee Wee, in grammar school, in high school, and in college. You have to adjust to the ump's strike zone, because the strike zone is different every day, because you have a different guy calling balls and strikes every day. Find out what he's calling, find out what he lets go, find out what he doesn't let go, and you have to do the rest. If it was called evenly, the same way across the board, no problem. Both teams have to adjust. But to toss them like that just because you said you're having a bad game, I think he was a little too sensitive. Sensitive. There's no need to throw him out. No need whatsoever. T. Nick's in the house. What's up, Papa? What's up? Yeah. No need to throw him out. Give him a warning. Say, hey, listen, don't come at me with that nonsense. All right, adjust. So you got to say, adjust. Because it was early in the game. Adjust. That's all. One, don't be so damn sensitive, ump. I get your panties out of a bunch. And two, baseball players. This is the new generation that we're going to deal with. This is the new generation. Don't talk to me. Don't talk to me like that. You hurt my feelings. I have more power. I can kick you out. And this is where you're right, Jay Grizz. You leave runners on base. There's opportunity for you. There's your opportunity to win, and you don't take advantage of it. But I hear you. That was a Bush League call. Then you kicked out. Kind of like, come on, bro. No one's coming to see you. No one's coming to see you, ump. Sissy ass, soft ass ump. And that did bug me a little bit. So again, all you got to say is you're going to just say, hey, ump, you got that? You're going to call that low strike? All right, cool. Thanks. That's it. So now I know. So now you put him on blast saying, okay, I see what you're doing. You're calling that low strike. All right, thanks. So that lets him know, okay, I'm going to take an accountability. I'm going to adjust. I'm going to adjust. That's what you got to say. And I know you're playing sports. It's an emotional game. All right, your emotions are in it big time. I get it. You also got to be professional as well. So he did what was in his rights. Because what's the rule? You can't argue balls and strikes. Is that the rule? And he's complaining that you're having a bad day about his balls, about the ball strikes. I don't know, Jay Grizz. Jay says, how do you feel about the robot umps being talked about being used? SuperBack. I don't know, man. There's something to the human error that I'm okay with. You know, something about human decision making. Okay, because like I was just talking about, if you get a pitcher who's pounding on the inside, pounding them inside, and the ump gives you maybe a half an inch to an inch on the inside, well, then adjust. Because what it's really going to help is going to help the batters, because now there's a strict strike zone. Boom, strict. If it doesn't hit that strike zone, it's not being called. No framing, which I hate. I freaking hate framing. Oh my goodness gracious. Great balls of fire. I hate it with every fiber of my being. Framing. Oh goodness gracious, great balls of fire. Man, you got me down. Man, Junior says, I'm not against human error. I'm against human fragile ego. Yeah, I know. Come on. Pull your tampon out. Pull your panties. Get your panties out of a bunch. He just said you're having a bad day. He didn't say your mama's a hoe. All right? He said you're having a bad day. And you can come back at him. Hey, I'm giving the pitcher that low strike. He's getting that low strike. Okay, he's letting you know. Sissy ass. And my White Sox. You know what? My White Sox, I like what I see. All right, I like what I see a lot. All right, one of the things that we're doing, we're bunting the ball. We're getting people over. Get them on, get them over, get them in. When you don't have talent, remember I've said this. When you don't have talent, you need to be able to manufacture runs. And guess what? My White Sox, there you go. My White Sox are manufacturing runs. All right, you're getting guys coming up with some key hits. Yesterday, again, they just refuse to go down without a fight. And that is refreshing for a Sox fan. Hell, they went out the way they lost yesterday. They had the bases loaded. They're down. What was it, 7-3? They're down 7-3. Bases loaded. Carroll hits a base hit. 1-run score, 7-4. Lubob gets a base hit. I'm sorry, ground out. 7-5. They walk the next guy. It's him. Elko is up. Bases loaded. Bottom of the ninth. We're down 2. A gapper clears them and win the game. Tim Elko, the youngster, just got called up and sent down and got called up again recently. Chasing some high heat. You could tell he was trying too hard. That's what you get with a youngster who just got called up in a chance to win the game with a walk-off. He's got crazy power. So he's going to expand the strike zone, knowing that he wants to put the ball in play. That's what you get with a youngster. Okay? It happens. Some good baseball. I'm telling you, was it Saturday? It was Saturday. I think they had runners on first and second. And I don't know if it was Slater this time. Bunted right to the third baseman. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, stealing bases, bunting, getting guys over, hitting the ball to the right side of the field. This is what they need to do right now. This is what this White Sox team needs to do. You can't count on the big hit right now. You got a lot of youngsters who are just kind of earning their stripes, all right, in the bigs. So you're going to make it easy on them and have them bunt, have them hit to the right side. These things, and I shouldn't say easy, but make them play fundamentally sound baseball. Because what's going to happen is as they get better, their ability to bunt isn't going to go anywhere. You've laid down successful bunts before, you'll be able to lay down successful bunts later. And as the season goes on and you need a game, you're in a game that you didn't think you'd win. You come back with a couple of, a bloop and a blast, and then a double, and then another triple, and you still need one more run, you can still create it. Or it's tied, and you want to win the game, you can create a run. I don't like the way the fundamentals has gone away from baseball, and in a lot of pro sports, the fundamentals has gone away. I don't like it at all. But the White Sox right now, this is what they need to do in order to win some of these close games. So they're doing it. And I'm okay with it. But listen, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break. On the other side of the break, we are going to get to the top of the one topic, so don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here. Shawn Sierra Sports on Sports Zone Chicago.
How do you take care of your mind health?
For my mental health, I meditate in the mornings.
I have my dogs. They're the best.
I just find ways that help me just relax.
Finding things that make me happy, like being close to my family.
I meditate a lot and read books.
I have hobbies outside of the game. I'm able to switch off. I'm able to turn my brain off from the game of basketball.
Your mind health matters.
Your mind health matters.
Yeah, hello. I'm really not sure if this is what you all do, but I really don't have anywhere else to turn.
Hi. I don't even know why I'm calling right now. I'm sorry. My thoughts are going a mile a minute.
My kids are out of state. My buddies from the army are all gone now. I'm really alone.
I left the service last year. My mom just passed away a few months ago. I miss so much time with her. I keep getting calls about the bills, and I'm trying to get a job, but I feel so stuck.
Okay, ma'am. I'm glad you called.
Okay, sir. Let's stay on the line and walk through some things.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go. Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
outs yesterday. Got him. Bring him up, sit him down. Perfect pitch, Cade Horton with his first strikeout.
Armstrong facing Jack Flaherty.
Pete Crow Armstrong fishes that out and drops it into right field. Carpenter's up with it. Here comes Happer on third. Throw is there. He is out. Curry got his man. I think this is a challenge by the Cubs here. The question is, there are two pieces of this. One, was the tag down in time? Two, was it legal defensive position by Dingler?
Are challenging the out call. There was no blocking of the plate, and the call stands at the plate. The runner is out. Chicago loses its challenge.
Welcome back to Shawn Sierra Sports on Sports Zone Chicago. Those clips courtesy of the Marquee Network. Those were the Northsiders yesterday up in the D. In the D. Getting the D. Getting blanked up in Motown. But, guys, you know how we do. First segment of every show is called Top of the Morning.
It won't come just when you want it.
Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you.
Here we go, baby. The first top of the morning topic. Start right here. The good guys, baby. The good guys from the South Side. Yeah, they took the L. Can't win them all, damn it. White Sox can't complete the sweep and fall to the Royals 7-5. Mike Bassel got a notice. He started the game, got a no decision. Went 3 1/3, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, a walk, and a punch out. Miguel Vargas was 1 for 3 with a homer, his 9th of the season. He drove in his 27th, 28th, and 29th runs of the season. Edgar Carroll, 1 for 2 with an RBI, his 12th of the season. That was in the 9th inning. Real nice bat by Edgar Carroll. This is Robert Jr. All right after Edgar Carroll grounded out, got an RBI, his 24th of the season. Sox are off today. All right, they need a little. Couldn't do it, man. Just couldn't do it. They traveled to Houston for a 3-game set starting tomorrow. Just couldn't get that sweep. That would have been big for this team, but all right. It happens. The next top of the morning topic, the Cubs. The Cubs fall to the Detroit Tigers. 4-0. Cade Horton, he got the loss. He's 3-1. He went 5 innings, 7 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 walks, 6 punch-outs. Dansby Swanson, 1 for 3. Michael Busch, 1 for 4. PCA was also 1 for 4. You know, Jay Grizz, this is what I'm talking about. So, Cade Horton, if I'm not mistaken, I was talking about the wussification of America. Okay? And it bothers me. Okay? Thank God he didn't do it yesterday, but they've done this with him. They've done it with some other people. They have openers. Guy pitched the first inning. Cade Horton had that happen. Ben Brown. All right. It bugs me when they have openers. I'm glad he didn't use one yesterday. But I know that he's had one, his first start, and like I said, they've used it other times. It just bothers me. Maybe it's me, get off my lawn, Shawn. I don't know. It could very well be. But you have the issue of starting a game. Have you been starting your whole life? From Babe Ruth to high school to college, and then you need an opener in the bigs? The thing you dream for? You busted your ass for 10, 12 years, and now you can't do it? You can't. It just bothers me. I don't know. Maybe I'm old and senile. Maybe I'm a dinosaur. It could very well be. Could very well be that. God bless it, man. I don't know. I just can't. I need you to take the first 3 outs. That's bothersome. That's frustrating as well. Keeping it moving. Next top of the morning topic. This was tough. Sky falls to the Indiana Fever on Saturday with no Caitlin Clark. They lose 79-52. No Sky player was in double digits in scoring. What the hell is that? King Book of World, your future ex-wife, Camila Cardoso, 8 points, 4 rebounds. Rachel Allen, 8 points. Angel Reese, 4 points, 12 rebounds. You know, believe me, I'm willing to give people the benefit of the doubt, especially athletes. I've been there and I get it. I understand it. But God bless it, Angel. God bless you, child. 4 points. 4 points. 12 rebounds. How many of those were me bounds? Because she missed the layup and got her own rebound. The WNBA and the media have coined the term me bounds because she misses so many damn layups and gets her own rebound. Starting to get tired of this shit. I really am. You're a professional athlete. Make a goddamn layup. Here's the generation again, Jay Grizz we're talking about. They're so worried about drawing fouls, they're not worried about making the basket. The foul's not the important thing. The basket's the main thing. Keep the main thing the main thing. The basket, those 2 points are the most important part of that whole sequence. Get the 2 points. If you get the hoop and the harm, good. But get the hoop. If you don't get the harm, at least you got the hoop. And it's bothersome to me because now I thought she had improved. How difficult is it to make a layup when you're standing right under the rim? And I get it. You have a defender there. They're trying to block you. Well, man, there's a thing called vertical jump. Go up. Explode. I'm really, really getting disappointed with her effort and her subpar play. Now, I don't agree with you, Junior. Reese is not a joke. 4 rebounds for Camila Cardoso, yeah. Angel Reese is not a very talented basketball player. She's a celebrity playing basketball now. Let me think about that for a second. I don't know if I agree with you, Cornelius. I don't agree with you. I think it's a lack of focus. There's something that you can do. There's something you can do. It's called working on your game. Again, the drama is what she feeds off of. Not just the you can't see me and, not just that. It's the flair. All right, when Caitlin Clark gave her a hard foul the last time, and she flew her arms like, oh my God, it's the worst foul ever created. Really? And then got up and went after Caitlin. Like, come on now. King Book of World, not a problem, Papa. Says, sorry, I got to cut it short today. My daughter's graduating 8th grade. Catch y'all later. Hey, excellent, Papa. Excellent. Congratulations to your baby girl. She's got to keep the main thing the main thing. And that's becoming a better basketball player. Get what I've been telling the White Sox. Get sound fundamentally. Get those fundamentals down. Come on, Caitlin. Come on, Angel. Make a goddamn layup. Focus on making the layup. That's your most important thing. Don't worry about the harm. They're not even called. They're letting them play and assault people down there. So go for the basket. Stop trying to draw the foul. They get mad when you don't get the foul. They're not calling them. They're not calling them for you guys. Period. Foulmouth Chris in the house. What's up, Papa? Says Angel's getting everything that she wants. She's making herself look very bad by doing everything that people say what was going to happen. She's got game. It's just that it's an unorthodox game. And I don't understand why they're who's telling her, because she's 6'3". All right, you're taller than a lot of girls down there. Not the tallest. And everyone's got a but there's a grit you got to have that she doesn't have. We've all played with guys who were short, one of the shortest guys on the team, or definitely shorter than, should have been playing in the front court. Should have been guard, but they got forced to play forward or center because he's the tallest guy on the team, which wasn't very tall. And those guys scored. There's a mentality that you have to have. And she doesn't have it. She doesn't have it. She doesn't have that grit, that grind. And it's bothersome. She's got talent, but she doesn't have that grit and that grind. And that's the thing that separates good players from great players. That grit, that grind. Foulmouth Chris getting. She just shut up and work on her game. Quit talking. You're in Chicago, blue collar city. You damn right. This ain't Baltimore. We will run your ass out of this town. You're damn right. Then you can't call it Joakim Noah then, because Joakim worked at his game every year. Black Diamond checking in and says she needs a Rodman in her ear. Something. But she got Shaq in her ear. Shaq went out of the way and called her the most talented, the best athlete to ever come out of LSU. A little hyperbole there, Shaq. I strongly disagree. Her only hope is to become a Dennis Rodman of the NBA. She'll never be a good offensive player. I don't think she'll be a scorer. I'll put it this way. I don't think she's going to be an elite scorer. She can be a scorer. Just think, if she made all her layups, that's 12, 16 points right there. Again, if she pulls up and she's shown she's got a little mid-range, a little short jumper, 6 to 10 feet from the rim. I thought so too, Chris. Shaq trying to hit that with that comment. King Booker will said too. Last before I go, Shaq was trying to hit. All right, y'all deuces. Yeah, he was. I ain't mad at you, Shaq. I ain't mad at you at all, Baba. Oh, some bad news from the sky. Saw when it happened. I knew it when it happened. Chicago Sky point guard Courtney Vandersloot will miss the rest of the season with a torn ACL that she suffered on Saturday. She was driving to the holes, a non-contact play. You could see it in the slow-mo. Got it. It looked like she got it and then still had to step on her foot to jump off, on her right leg to jump off, and then she jumped, and that's what she just held let the ball drop and grabbed her knee, and I'm like, yeah, ACL. Man. She just, a month ago, just became the Chicago Sky's all-time leading scorer. She'll be out for the rest of the season, which pushes up the timeline for Haley Van Lith. Now, I like Haley. I think she can be a very nice point guard in this league, very good point guard in this league. What's she going to do? Okay? It's a situation where you knew you're not starting. They brought Courtney Vandersloot here to kind of mentor you. And you have the mindset, okay, I'm going in. I'm not starting. I'm subbing in. I'm coming off the bench. Okay. Guess what? Shit happens. Welcome to life. Courtney Vandersloot just tore her ACL. Are you mentally prepared? Are you mentally prepared to take over that starting job? And you're going to get harassed. It's not going to be easy. This isn't college. There were some grown-ass women. Can you make that jump mentally? Physically, you're good. Physically, you're good. You don't have to worry about what your skill set. Can you deal with it mentally? What do you say, Black Diamond? Let's see. Let's see what they're saying over here. I'm trying to see what you're saying. See, there's Rodman in her ear. Did you say anything else before that? Oh, never should have fired Spoon. Yeah, you know what? There was just too much favorable treatment, they said, toward Angel Reese. A lot of players didn't like it because remember, they both played under LSU coach Tim Mulkey. I was shocked when they fired her, but I was very shocked. Cornelius, Skyler running for the #1 draft pick next year already. Is that Juju? Is that Juju? I'll tell you what. You bring Juju, and then you can move Haley Van Lith over to shooting guard. Rashawn says more time for the rookie point guard. Yeah, but it's tough. Chris says run the offense through Cardoso. She was a higher drafted player. Basketball isn't rocket science. I agree. She's got to do better in her footwork. I thought her footwork would have been better. She was playing overseas. Like I need some moves in the post. I mean, listen. This is a guy named Akeem Olajuwon you can go talk to. You got money, hire him. Hire him to work with these girls. Hire a big man. I mean, I'll tell you what. Angel Reese has worked on her game. If you saw, she needs better balance. If you saw the other day, she was down the block. She was dribbling, she was pounding, picks it up, hooks the defender with the elbow to go up. Okay. Like you have to work on that. You don't just do that all of a sudden out of the blue. You don't do that. That's something you're working. She felt the pressure. She felt some resistance. Boom, boom, boom. Hook. But she was off balance. And sometimes, and I don't remember if it got blocked but she's going to get her shot blocked far too often. You're 6'3". I know this girl's taller than you in the league. Damn, it's 6'3". Yeah, I don't know what kind of system they're running. Chris, you said their guard play is terrible. They need Juju. What kind? I don't understand their system. Like they're not moving the ball. Like there's no motion. And I'm like, something's wrong here. Like I understand. You saw the NBA Finals yesterday, and granted, that's an extreme example of two best teams in the NBA. Okay, but they got a system, and it doesn't look like they have a system. I mean, this is their head coach's first year as a head coach. So he's going to have some growing pains. You know, and I just don't. Tyler Mars has got to do a better job. Look, you got your dad there on your staff. Your dad was a well-respected and very successful college coach in his own right. Lean on him, dude. It's frustrating, very. Junior says you can tell Cardoso is tired of Reese. I don't know. I don't know that. I personally haven't seen it. Yeah, those bigs are not athletic, and they're guards. All right, they got rid of Kennedy Carter, who was a dog last year. That was another reason they fired Spoon, was her playing of Kennedy Carter. This is crazy. We already got one dysfunctional basketball team in this town. We don't need a second one. All right, we don't need a second one. At least the first dysfunctional team gave us 6 championships. All right, they gave us 6 championships in a decade. The Warren's out there waiting for her lift, and the lift drove by. Junior says, is Coach Lance available? I don't know. And that would not surprise me. That would not surprise me whatsoever. I would be more than happy to explore that option. More than happy to do that. The Irvins are synonymous with Chicago basketball. Listen, you might even be from the west side or the north side, but you knew who the Mac Irvin Fire was. You knew who that was. Shawn said there's a lot of frustration with Angel, and deservedly so. I agree. Her game's not tight. She's got to get her game tight. She's got to get her game tight. That's the issue I have. Yeah, the whole offseason. Remember I was saying the whole offseason work. You need an offseason. All right, they're in the Final Four. They get drafted. Within a month of their final game, they're in training camp. No offseason. I said, give them an offseason. Remember I was saying, give them an offseason, they're good. What's she doing? Now, look, I get it. You're maximizing your earning potential. Okay, great. But your earning potential is only what it is because of basketball. So keep the main thing the main thing. And it seems like she might not have done that. Or she might not be doing that. Okay? She might not. Because I've seen her, and maybe, again, I don't want to shit on her. You know, but I need to be fair. Okay? I need to be fair. You got to get this smoke like everybody else. Don't say I'm racist because I'm black too. I'm half black. But she got to get this smoke too. You're a professional athlete. You need to work on your game. We need to see, and every year we need to see something different. And in the who do they play? The Brazilian team. I was a little impressed. She came, she was dribbling the ball, she spun, passed the defender, laid it in. I was like, oh, okay. Laid it in nice too, like she knew what she was doing. I'm like, okay, she worked on her game. And then now she's reverting back to nonsense. I don't know. I'm just not happy with that. I'm not happy with that. And maybe it's, and I'll tell you what it is. I know exactly what it is. All right? As a player and a coach, I can come at it from either angle. As a player, I wanted to be the best. I had a very storied career. I had a very successful career. High school, college, professionally, semi-pro. And I was always striving to be the best. I always worked on something. And I see athletes who are talented but don't address their flaws. I see athletes who are talented but don't work on the mental part of their game. And that could just be from everything being handed to them since they were first started dribbling a basketball. But that's what frustrates me is that you're right. We didn't see her get better. We needed to see her. We needed to say, oh, shit, yeah. Oh, hell yeah. That has to come immediately. That has to be the first thing that pops out. Beginning of every year, like, oh, shit, she worked on this. Yeah, she worked on that. Oh, snap. Okay. And we're not seeing that. Her balance is off, which is another reason why I say get Akeem Olajuwon in here. Get Shaq in here. So believe me, Akeem took him to school. He learned after that. But they need to help these young ladies because these young ladies are drowning. And Camila Cardoso, I'm not seeing her get aggressive. I'm seeing people out rebound her. Mommy, you're 6'9" or 6'7". You want to, unless your name's Brittany Griner, ain't too many other women in the league who are taller than you. And I need to see some ups. I need to see you jump for a basketball. Not just stick your hands up because you're probably the tallest girl on the floor many times. I need to see you get up and get a rebound. That's what I need. We're going to take a quick break. Get me fired up a little bit. Get better, damn it. Work on your craft. You're professionals for a reason. I know you're not making $1 million, a couple $1 million like the NBA players. But it doesn't absolve you from getting better at your sport. It doesn't absolve you from doing that. Don't come in and think, oh, we're the tallest. I'm 6'7", she's 6'3". Everyone's going to let us get all the rebounds. No. Remember when she said, oh, we're us together, we're going to get all the rebounds. No, you're not. Jump off the damn ground. Box people out. I'm frustrated with this group. Very frustrated. They're not focused on basketball. Doesn't seem to be the most important thing to them, in my opinion. Everything's a fashion show. I get it. I know. I'm sure the WNBA said, hey, make sure you dress, I don't want to say sexy, but beautiful. like women. All right. You know, you want to soften up the game. You want male viewers, you know. Okay, good. Get your game tight. Because you can walk in dressed to the nines in Louis Vuitton and all the other stuff. If you can't hit a goddamn layup, we're going to talk shit about you. And they are. As evidenced by the she bounds, or me bounds. Not even rebounds. They call it me bounds because she misses all the damn layups. She gets her own rebounds and puts them back in. So they're basically saying she's padding her stats because she misses all those damn layups and gets her rebounds back. But man, it's frustrating because when you see talented people not putting forth their best effort, I got a problem with it. And Tyler Marsh, you got to put your foot down too. You got to come in. You got to come in like Ben Johnson. Like, nope, not good enough. Do it again. Nope, not good enough. Do it again. Oh, third time? Sit down. Maybe the bench will help you clear up some shit. There's got to be a care for these athletes. And sometimes you got to put foot to ass, period. And Tyler Marsh doesn't seem to be the guy to be doing it or willing to do it. Call your boy. We'll get these girls going. And yes, I have coached basketball. You see a whole bunch of different stuff with these girls. It's tired of this nonsense, man. Listen, we're going to take a break. On the other side of the break, my man's in them. There's like three people I say my man's in them. Everyone's my guy. But there's like three people like my man's in them. And this is definitely one of them. My man's in them. On the other side of the break, Ken Davis. We're going to talk some crazy stuff. We'll talk Bears. We get a little bit of White Sox. Maybe a little NBA Finals. We'll see. See how much time we got. Or if he feels like going down the rabbit hole. So don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here. Ken Davis on the other side. Keep it locked right here. Shawn Sierra Sports on Sports Zone Chicago.
Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
Time out. How are you feeling right now? Happy? Excited? Angry? Overwhelmed? One of the best things you can do for your mind health is to name what you're feeling. It can sharpen your awareness and help you talk about your feelings with someone you trust. Here are 3 questions to ask yourself. Where are your thoughts right now? In the past, the present, the future? Do you notice any sensations in your body? Is your heart beating fast? Is there a flutter in your stomach? Or are you fully relaxed? What do you need right now? Time with others? Time to yourself? Remember, there's power in this awareness. So find ways to identify what you're feeling today.
At a time when the news seems as subjective as the partisan politics dividing this country, independent professional journalism has become a resource people need to get the honest and accurate information for their lives. That's why I created JonahJackson.com. As a born and raised Chicagoan, I know the city better than anyone. So my investigative stories are all original, and they'll go deeper to expose the truth by using information obtained from public information databases and in-depth interviews with the movers and shakers. My feature stories will introduce you to people and businesses who are changing the world, not just Chicago. My missing person stories will spotlight those who you don't hear about in the mainstream media, who are often overlooked. If you want to hear my personal views on things around the world, check out my blog site, which is based off of factual information on my life experiences. There's also past episodes of my weekly sports podcast show, What's Up Cuz, that I host with my real-life cousin, Lance Irvin. So if you're looking for all this information and more, check out jcoynereports.com and follow me on Twitter at jcoyne.
Every day, we take steps to keep the people we love safe, but some health risks are easy to miss. Ticks hiding in the yard can spread germs, like the ones that cause Lyme disease. Mice searching for food can spread bacteria that makes us sick. Mosquitoes lay eggs in standing water and can spread West Nile virus and more. Cockroaches are drawn to water in the home, leaving behind allergens that can trigger asthma attacks. Common pests can threaten our health. Learn how to protect your family at pestworld.org.
Players to figure out how to play and how to win games without those two critical pieces.
Vandersloot off the Reese screen, scoots to the cup. He tries to flip a pass to Boston, turned over. Reese in the open court, open runway, and she gets the easy lay-in. Confidence to hit it.
And one of the best scorers in all of women's college basketball is Kelsey Mitchell.
Rebecca Allen, nice take with the left hand as the Aussie checks in. And tonight, they're just sitting at 31% from the field. Cardoso trying to change that. Cardoso muscles in the two.
Tremendous. Her feel on the short roll versus rolling all the way to the basket looks tremendous. Haley Van Lith, though, said, let me get in here real quick.
That's what I'm talking about, Haley. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Welcome back to Shawn Sierra Sports on Sports Zone Chicago. Those clips courtesy of CBS. Those are the girls on Saturday getting their ass handed to them with a Caitlin Clark-less Indiana Fever. There's some things in there. All right, Haley, you got to do more of that. All right, Camila Cardoso, you got to do more of that. You got to get in there, bump it out with them big old hips, them big old thighs, get them out, clear some room, lay it in off the glass for two, and then get one. Hoop and a harm. But the guard play needs to be much better. But I digress. Up next. Fired up. You know I get fired up just talking to my mans. I should have had you come to the Sox game with me on Friday, boy. I should have called you. I actually had an extra ticket. He was the former host of the Under Center podcast, and he's going to give me shit for that. Because now that I think about it, I'm like, damn, because I was actually looking for someone to use a ticket. He's a good friend of the program. You can find him on Twitter at That's Davis. My man is about to chew me out. My man, Ken Davis. Ken, what's up, Papa? How are you?
So you want to keep me away from the great nights? I couldn't join in with my Mexican and Latino brothers at the guaranteed rate. And I know the food had to be good. So did y'all do the parking lot shenanigans?
Yeah. They got the little spot right outside of gate 2. They got a little area that, and I'm telling you, bro, I am so sorry.
I saw the pictures. I was like, oh, it must have been nice. He looked like he had a great time, but I didn't know you had a ticket.
I did. I had seats 1 and 2, and I'm like 1 and. And it was a White Sox winner too.
I know. It would have been on a little run. You couldn't bring me in while they were actually winning. Oh man! Wait till they start losing, and then you're gonna bring me back. Hey, Ken, I got.
No, I don't want to go now. Damn it! Forget you.
Wait. So about 5 years ago, I remember talking to my buddy and being like, "Yo, you better take advantage of this WNBA thing. It's popping." And he gave me that look. It was like, which was kind of like, yeah, but nah, not right now, right? And I want to jump into the Sky thing. All right, just because a lot of people are jumping into the WNBA, and I think we're not using our sports brains with this. And I'm not knocking you. I'm saying this is in a generalization. The Sky have been poorly built really since they won that title. Their general manager and coach Wade threw everything and it's funny because I remember being in barbershops getting into arguments with cats that year they came back and they ran it back. I remember this guy was like, yeah, they should run it back again. And I was like, they lost. They ran it back. This team should have been blown up after the title. But again, I understand running it back. They should have been in the Aaliyah Boston sweepstakes. They damn sure should have been in the Caitlin Clark sweepstakes. The Indiana Fever have been building throughout the draft and free agency and trades to build a contender, which they have, particularly when Caitlin Clark comes back from injury. in the next 2 or 3 years, she's probably going to be the best player in the WNBA. If she's not, she's going to be in the top 3. All right. Angel has never been that. And I'm an Angel Reese fan, but I've always known her limitations. The actually comp that I used to tell Tony Gill about, she reminds me a lot of Joakim Noah and how awkward Joe was offensively, particularly when he got in the league and couldn't hit bunnies because Joe had that kind of awkwardness around bounce. And it took him a minute to where bunnies became happenstance for him and he became an all-star type player. That's her. Should have never drafted Camila Cardoso. All right. Don Staley is hinted at, but she doesn't have an engine. The coach has to be the engine. And I think Don Staley may have been the only person to really get her going. That was a wasted pick because she's tall. Just because a player is tall does not mean you should take them in the top 3 in the WNBA. You look at Lauren Betts coming out of UCLA this upcoming year. That's the type of player, if you're going to spin that, and she's going to be the first pick in the draft. But they took Camila Cardoso because she's tall. She had one really supreme year at South Carolina. Now, South Carolina is stacked, so usually players don't get off. But still, even when Aaliyah Boston was there, Cardoso wasn't her. So that I was never in favor of that pick. And then on top of that style of play, and we learned this last year with Spoon as the head coach, they don't have 3-point shooters. You look at Canberry, I forget the young lady they traded to the Suns, just going off now. The white guard that can shoot threes. They traded their best 3-point shooter last year throughout the season, and then they was tanking even more. They're not a good team. And like I think here, and it's funny, like talking to my guys, people just expect for them to be good. They're not built right now to be good right now. Vanderbilt was aged out. She was ready to leave the year they won the title. All right. Her and Allie Quigley were thinking about going to Seattle because I think Quigley is from that area. She was thinking about retiring up that way, or if it was Vandersloot. I'm sorry that Vandersloot blew out her knee because that's not that type of play. That's some Barkley stuff. You never want to see great players leave like on a stretcher. You know, like when your career is winding down, you never want to see somebody blow something out. Because think about the chances of her coming back. Not saying she can't. That's a lot to come back when you're in the twilight years of your career. And
that's you want to prepare to come back. That's the issue.
That's a great point.
You come back and has the talent.
Great point.
You want to mentally prepare.
Yeah, mentally to go through all that you have to go through to and even when you come back, it's the year after. So we're talking about now another year. So that's terrible. But they're not a real built team. So like when I talk to people and it's like, taking on like I had a bet with them versus Indiana last year, who's going to have the best record. And I knew I was stealing money because it was no question. And the Sky played better than expected last year until they traded the guard that I was just talking about. But they still aren't built to contend. So, and then getting to the me-bound thing, she can't hit bunnies. She is not Moses Malone in this, all right? Where this isn't one of those situations. She's not good enough to do that. You know, like Moses Malone was an artisan around the basket. You know what I'm saying? So he could pad stat offensive rebounds. She's not that type of offensive player to be able to get away with doing that. And then the clothing thing, the NBA had led the way in this. We're saying this now because it's women. They made the fashion. Remember when we were younger, Shawn, and they didn't want you to dress, and everybody had to put on a suit because of Allen Iverson? And then 12 years ago, 15 years ago, when they noticed that people enjoyed the styles, which people have always enjoyed professional basketball player style because they're long and lengthy and clothes fit well. They fit well on them. The NBA used that. That's why, look, we knew Shea for how he dressed before he was great. Like the guys that were these style. Look, we don't know what he has on, but we still know Kuzma puts on that shit, and I mean that literally because it's weird. And again, but I'm not into fashion like that. There's some people that like Kyle Kuzma's wardrobe because they think it's extremely fashionable. It doesn't hit me because that's not the lane which I exist in. So it's just one of those things where we're watching it, we're frustrated because they're losing, but they're not built right now to really win. They're not built to win. And I'll say this, being someone that's an Angel Reese fan, if it gets to a point and she has to go to bring in better players, she has to go. I think they missed an opportunity because I think this year they should have been in the Paige Becker sweepstakes. I think last year they should have tanked so hard to try to, because I think Paige and Angel would have been a nice combination together, having that defensive player and that bucket getter. I think it would have been sweet. And you look at next year, you really don't have that type of player coming out. I think by the time Juju's going to be, they're going to confine her into the West Coast. She's either going to be a Valkyrie or a Spark. I don't see them letting her leave California. I wouldn't, to be honest with you. I wouldn't let a baller like that when the Sparks aren't as good and when Golden State now has a women's basketball franchise.
Where they come from? Dude, they opened up some whoop ass on the, was it Liberty?
Yeah, dude. So
no, the Aces, the Las Vegas Aces.
But Aces aren't the Aces. And I
think that name still carries weight.
No, I'm not saying it like that. I'm saying it as far as an Asia Wilson fan. Sooner or later, you're gonna have to free her up out of there because you don't want to waste these great years. And there's only a few places you can send players if you want them to see their greatness, and you're gonna have to get her up out of Vegas if Vegas isn't gonna be able to sustain. And then I'll step off of the women basketball.
Hey, speaking of Vegas, dude, are you gonna go to the Bears game in Vegas?
When is it? What date is it? So I'm trying to add my funds together right now.
I understand. I get you. The 28th, the last weekend of September. I would have liked it in October, but
maybe
last weekend in September.
Yeah, that's not bad. I mean, weather-wise, it's not bad in Vegas. Like you said, it may be a little, even though, it's Vegas nights, man. You get close in that wintertime, the Vegas nights can be unforgiving.
Yeah.
And that wind gets to whipping through.
Jacket, bro.
Yeah, that's Vegas nights. It gets cold.
85, 90 today, and then all of a sudden drops down to 55.
So, yeah, exactly. So it's like, I've been meaning to take a Bears trip. I didn't make the Houston trip. I know a lot of cats that did make the Houston trip last season. I mean, I'm excited. You know what I'm saying? I think there's still going to be some growing pains referring to the Bears, but I mean, incomparable. This is an apples and oranges comparison. The Bears are a lot better built than a team like the Sky. The Bears have pieces where you should see where our complaints should be valid because, look, you got the guys are there. Your offensive line is better. We got to see how they gel together, right? Defensive line still has some question marks, but you have more bodies on the defensive line. Your quarterback has talent. We need to see him grow. Your receiving core, this is, and I'm including tight ends. This is one of what? Top 5? And I mean, this is like they may be 5. I'm going to put them like at 5 right now, 6. Mm-hmm. When you're talking about what you think your tight ends are supposed to be, when you look at your top 3 receivers, you look at what Burden should. Now that's also, and I'll say top 5 with potential. That's what I should have said, with potential, because Burden could be
a top 5 pick. Yeah.
I don't think Loveland or what's the tight end from Michigan?
Colston Loveland.
Yeah, Loveland. I don't think Loveland. I watched too much Big Ten football to think Loveland's going to be a bust. I still would prefer Warren, but I know Loveland is a baller. Like that it wasn't a situation where you had an opportunity to. I'm trying to think of a draft that had 2 tight ends go in it. I can't remember the last time we had a good draft with 2 tight ends in it. But comparably, it's not one of those where one of them was so much better than the second one, and the Bears was like, give me the second one. It's more of your taste, but I do think physically raw talent, I would have preferred for them to take the Gronk-esque guy than more of the Sam Laporta. Sam Laporta is very young in his career, so it'll be interesting to see what goes on. But look, the coaches out there calling cats on their shit. You know what I'm saying? That's what you.
There's a crazy idea. Hold them accountable. Stop it, Ken. Stop.
Dude, it's been so much BS when you're talking about jobs being given. Like, here you go. No, these guys are fighting for these jobs. Shh.
Wink, wink. They're fighting. They're fighting. We have a battle every day.
So it'll be interesting. I think Dylan Allen is a really good defensive coordinator. I think actually, and that's one thing we don't talk about a lot here. I think his defensive style is really going to resonate within the city. I think we have, and it's benefited us. We lived in a lot of zone cornerback situations here. And look, they're gonna get burned sometimes, so it's gonna depend.
It happens.
But to see your DBs now pressuring and getting at it, You know what I'm saying? More times than not. It's going to be interesting to take in, and we got some questions when talking about the safety positions with, Brisker. How long is Brisker going to be playing? And I don't even mean that as disrespectful. I just hope the young man.
No, I know exactly what you mean. But
I mean, when your bell and the thing is, when your bell starts getting rung and you play in that manner of play, the style of play that he plays in, with he's putting his head in there. That's how he plays. Like, so you can't untrain someone who's been doing something majority of their entire life. And that's where, when you see Brisker, it's actually kind of sad. It's not sad. It is sad to see him talking about, his future and his injuries and basically being like, I'm all right. And you hope he is all right. But when you think about the fact that the team and the league held him out last year, this wasn't a situation where he was like, yo, I don't think I can go. This was more like, yo, and when we were younger, they would have
because we don't want you to sue our ass.
That's it. Liability, right? Liability. Back in the days, they would have tossed his ass out there and be like, yeah, we'll get another one. We got a 3rd round pick for a safety. But yeah.
Bro, when you got to relearn how to, his whole his central nervous system. I was like, crazy. Whoa, yeah,
that's crazy, right?
That is scary.
When you're talking about reaction, let's. For me now, hearing him saying that, I don't know if that is including his extremities, and I'm not a doctor, and I wasn't at that press conference, so I don't know if someone asked the question. But I would have loved someone to ask him particularly, what part of the body are you retraining the most, or needs the most retraining, basically? Because if we're talking about, and we're talking about just here, this area here, and we know, again, he sticks his head in there. And now you're retraining yourself and you couldn't get your head out of there. But now you're not even moving as fast as you was moving when you were a top flight athlete, uninjured. You know what I'm saying? And that's, again, this is his life. I'm one of those people. This is his life. He's a grown ass man. You know what I'm saying? And if he chooses to do this, more power to him. And we just hope that he's safe. I'm not a person that believes in, particularly like maybe when Michael Irvin was hurt, and probably maybe like when Sterling Sharp was hurt. You know what I'm saying? Where this is a neck injury and the next hit could cause you paralysis or something of that manner. Yeah, I'm with forcing someone out, but if it's not to that extent, I'm not with forcing someone out, because you're grown up, and people for their jobs risk their lives in a myriad of ways. So I'm not with that, but it's just sad to think that, when and I'll end it right here. Him and Kyler Gordon came in together, and Kyler Gordon just got paid. And regardless of anything, I know if it's me, it's going to be on my mind, because I'm supposed to, even if I'm a safety, he's a nickel, particularly I'm more of a box safety, even though I present some versatility. So probably with how the league is going, he's going to get paid somewhat more than me, even though nickels don't get aren't great perimeter, but we see how the nickel cap money is going up now or whatever. You look at the Indianapolis Colts, Kenny Moore, is that the nickel cornerback in Indianapolis? It's Kenny something. So. Yeah, you look at his how much money he was making, and then you look at what Gordon just got. But if you're Brisker and you're seeing your draft mate get paid and your body betrayed you, and you're it's still a question of you getting paid, and now because of what happened to your body, there's going to be perhaps less opportunity for you to get the same length, not just money, but the same length, because of fear, perhaps, that you may not be able to finish out that contract. And that's just because, listen, he made some mistakes. I mean, like anybody, we remember the gap. He had to miss gap. We supposed to fill in the gap from like the running back, and running back took it to the house. He was a young kid. So I'm not saying this to diss him. I'm just saying it to be real, as far as I'm not saying he's a world beater, but you saw the potential within him, and he lived up to what we expect here in Chicago, which is go and get it. He was out there and he was getting it. You look at 4 sacks his rookie year, and I believe he led the team in sacks, which is terrible when you're talking about your safety led the team in sacks. But still, it's
from the quarterback leads you in sacks.
Dude, that part. The same with tackles. When your safety leads the league in your team in tackles, that's man. He got some yards. They getting some yards on you when your safety leads the team in tackles. But yeah, that's the things that's the only thing right now as far as on the Bears front that's sad. I don't want to say kind of sad. That's sad. because it wasn't like Shorty didn't do what we wanted him to do. You know, like a lot of times, and we've talked about it. We talked about when Bojack stopped balling out and all the BS that we had to put out, and he did have a redemptive arc, which was crazy because usually you can never sink to the depths that Jackson has sunk to, and then make your way back. Because I thought it was word soup or diarrhea basically when Flus got here and they gave him and Pose got here and gave him a chance. I thought he was lying. I thought they was lying. And for him to be the vet in that locker room and the way he played, and then his body again betrayed him, and his body did it in school with the broken femur at Bama, Roll Tide. But it's one of those things where it's just that's messed up, and I wish Jaquan Brisker the best. But outside of that, I mean, we'll see. I mean, the Bears play in the Bears play in the toughest division in the NFC. All right, I do think that you're going to get more of at least a couple more losses from Detroit. You're talking about losing your set.
I disagree with you, bro. I don't think they're in the toughest division. I think last year
in the NFC.
In the NFC,
who's a better division in the NFC now?
Okay.
Because I mean, do you count? Okay, because let's just look at it. The East. I was going to say the East. So you're talking about no, we don't believe in the Giants. Because if the Bears are the Giants, you believe in the Bears more than the Giants, don't you? Because that's what we're basically saying. Because we're saying like the Cowboys are the Packers. That's what we're saying. And who do you believe in more, the Pack or the Cowboys? You believe in the Pack probably more than the Cowboys, right? Yeah. So then when you're talking about, even if we're saying with Minnesota, so the only thing is Minnesota and Washington, really, you know what I'm saying? Because those two. So if you're telling me, I would take the Eagles over Detroit, but it's really where you go with Minnesota, Washington, and in all fairness, Minnesota has a better track record under their head coach right now. I'm again, I've said this any day. I did not have Jaden Daniels and Caleb Williams like this. I had them a lot closer to this. And if this boy wasn't skinny, it would have been more like this. All right. Like that's just, and I'm a Caleb.
I remember all you did. You harped on that.
Yeah. My only thing with Jaden was, and then listen, if Jaden didn't run like that, I wouldn't have cared that he was skinny. The fact that he was skinny, putting his ass on the line, that was where my fear of if Jaden was a pocket quarterback, they would have been like this. All right. So and again, I'm not taking away that you could be right, Shawn. Their top two could make it to where they are better, but we have to see what Washington is this year. You know what I'm saying? We have to make sure that Washington is for real, because yes, we have to see what JJ McCarthy will be as a starter for the Vikings. But dog, I know with their head coach, he is the quarterback whisperer. You know what I'm saying? Like he will get something out of nothing when it comes to that position. And then it's not even like you have to put it on JJ McCarthy to go out there and be like, dog, we need you to dominate the game. You got a nice forget just you got a nice tandem of receivers, a nice tight end, right? Your offensive line is looking better because they were guard to guard. They were a guard to guard issue too. Their tackles was straight. They were a guard to guard issue. So we'll see. But again, if not, it's the second best. I think I have to looking at the top two because they did win a Super Bowl. But I don't know what Washington is going to be. So that way, I still think if we're going top to bottom, I think the NFC North is stronger than the NFC East because I think the Bears are way better than the Giants. You know what I'm saying? I do. I think the Bears are a lot better than the Giants.
I would say that I want to give the NFC North a heads up or a leg up. That's what I meant to say. Because here's why. Detroit is lost OC,
both coordinators,
DC, other coaches,
center, guard.
Ragnow just retired. That's retired. I think that might be huge.
That's Shawn. When that hit me,
he was only
but that's
29.
happening though, Shawn. That's these, you know. And by the way, Mondo's in here talking about concussions, and someone that played in the trenches, cats with trench money, get real trench money. Now you look at the 49ers like a decade ago. When they lost a couple cats to retiring early, nobody. I had a couple of them dingers too, Mondo. Like I forgot where I was at, And they had an offensive and a defensive lineman, Sean, because they had the other Smith. Remember, it was two Smith. They had the DT, the white. They had Alden Smith and the other Jonathan Smith, I believe his name was. They had a DT, a nice defensive tackle that played with Alden Smith. They had a black offensive lineman that retired early. He is like a farm or something now. I forget. It comes up on my feed every so often. They have a kid. He's a farmer. He's a farmer now. He retired at like 27, 28. But the thing, look, and I'm not knocking it. What? Look, Ragnow did everything he could to become one of the best centers in the league. At this point, if he's like, yo, I still got my brains and I don't want to get them scrambled, and I played this contract out, I'm done, more power to you. Like, dog, it's no reason to, because you're not going to, anybody that plays any sport, you're not going to leave it the same way. But if you play football, you are not leaving it the same way you came in. It's just not how it works. All right, you do not crash yourself into somebody and then it's
30 times a game, 17 times a week,
it's just
for 12 years in a row. And come
right, it doesn't work like that. Yeah, it's attrition and it's terrible. So do that. But I think, look, I don't think that like Dan Campbell can't coach. I think Dan Campbell's attitude had a lot to do with it. I do think Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson had played large parts too. But I say this, I think it's going to, and what I was getting to, I just said they was not going to win like 14 games. I just said they're going to lose a couple games. I'm saying that I think their max now is about 12 victories. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. I think they may only get 10 or 11, but I still think, look, I've been saying for years, and I'm wrong. I'm not even going to say partially wrong. Sometimes just own your shit. Take Ben Johnson away. Let's find out who Jared Goff is. I don't think Jared Goff is going to be exactly the same, but I think through Ben Johnson, but particularly Jared Goff, I think Jared Goff is one of the better quarterbacks in the league, particularly if we're talking accuracy. And I'm saying this, I'm a Jared Goff hater, and I'm not really, but I've dissed him enough that if he fouled me under hater, I couldn't argue with him for fouling me there, right? I don't try to hate on anybody. Point being, he is the best quarterback in this division, all right? And it's not like he's just serviceable. Like, he's putting up numbers doing it and not turning the ball over. You know what I'm saying? So when you're that accurate, it's just going to take someone to properly still do the skill. Because the thing, I think this is what people they forget about the Lions. They don't have, like, James Williams is a freak talent physically, but they really don't have great athletes on the edge. Laporta, again, is nice. But even someone, when you look at Amon-Ra St. Brown.
He's in the middle. He's inside.
Yeah, but he's a lot more of what's the name, Ward, that used to play with the Steelers.
Not Ward. Yeah.
You know, he's a lot more that. He's physically more gifted. You know what I'm saying? He's faster, but I'm saying he's more of, he trained his body up to be great than he naturally is. Just like, oh my God, at the combine, he was like, look at all these tangibles. You know what I'm saying? Like that he's more like that. So I think people don't give Ben Johnson the props for they schemed a lot of stuff that helped them because they got good. Thank you, Hines Ward. They got good players, but it's not like they got the greatest. They're not a running back tandem is sweet. You know what I'm saying? Like Jahmyr Gibbs may end up being great. You know what I'm saying? Like Sam Laporta may end up being great, but Jameis is an idiot. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's just be honest. Who knows what he's going to do this offseason? All right. Like he's an idiot, right? And he's injury prone.
Give me $50 on us to win.
Yeah, on the Lions, on Jahmyr Gibbs, Jahmyr and Montgomery to both go for 100 against.
Let me do it inside the building inside too.
Exactly.
Hey, if I do it in the parking lot, I'm not in the building.
Are you? Because I'm sure they'll get you for that. Like, you got to get some distance. But yeah. So again,
I hear you, bro. I hear you on that. I think that I want to see. Because let's not forget, Josh Allen took a step back when Brian Daboll left. He got back to where he was before.
He did, but
that
still
also has to go with the coaching that he got from Daboll. So I want to see. I'm expecting, and you heard it here first. I'm expecting a big dip from Jared Goff, and I don't care who the hell the new guy is. I know they promoted within. I know he said they're going to run the same offense, but you're not Ben Johnson. You're not going to set up play the same way. You're not going to set up plays the same way Ben Johnson
does. That's the big issue.
the same way Ben Johnson does. You're not going to have a gut feeling like the way Ben Johnson does. All right. And then your defensive coordinator. So those things with all those players, they're going to regress. All right. Green Bay, Jordan Love likes to throw the ball to opposing teammates or team. He does. That's it. That's
make a break here.
That's
make a break here for
Achilles
him.
heel. Yeah. That's his Achilles heel.
Either he's going to be special or he's going to be straight. And I mean, like, he may be good straight, but this year will tell us with Jordan, because the first year he didn't get enough reps, and then he got hot this later in the year. Last year, and he was hurt. He started the year off injured, though. Let's not forget that he began the year, but still, we didn't see that next step because the fear was, man, if Jordan Love takes the next step, the Bears going to be in some trouble, right? He did not take that next step. I love the fact that you talked about setting up plays when you talk about Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson is like a great pitcher or catcher in baseball when it comes to, all right, I'm going to show you this because I'm gonna come back to this, on the fourth inning, maybe the fifth just so I can get this quality start and get my ass out of here at the sixth. But I'm gonna that's where when people thought that Ben Johnson is just like this trick guy, I think they overdo the trick and don't talk about the setup, because the setup is the key thing that outside of just being a football savant that makes him great. We'll have to see as a head coach, can he be great? As an offensive play caller, we know he's great. We do not know how he will perform as a head coach, and that'll be interesting to see this year. But how he set people up to take advantage of plays later on was masterful, and I think that's why I'm not as scary. I'm not scared that the Bears are going to fail offensively. It may take them a second to get the offense going, but this guy is perhaps one of the smartest minds. He can't be Andy Reid, because Andy Reid has to be the smartest offensive mind in football at this point, right? I don't know. I can't say
he's got a lot more years under his belt too.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, Andy Reid's earned that. Andy Reid is under Bill Walsh. That's where. And I'm not saying it's nobody, but I'll say that's the rare air that Andy Reid is when we're talking about offensive football. All right, Andy Reid.
He succeeded everywhere he went. He just didn't win a Super Bowl. In Philly, he had
particularly offensively. You know what I'm saying? And he's never had, as far as a head coach, the best quarterback. And when you gave him the best quarterback, you see what he did with the best quarterback. Look, Donovan McNabb was never the best. He was one of the top quarterbacks, but he was never Manning or Brady. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was one of the top. At times he was the third in those with those two. He was the third guy behind those two, at least 2 or 3 years, but he was never number one. And then when you give Andy Reid that and also Andy Reid growing up, remember all those years with Westbrook, and we used to be like, Andy Reid, run the damn ball. And you see how with Kansas City, how he ran. You look at Kareem Hunt. Yeah, you look at that's where I was going. That's exactly where I was going with Pacheco. You look at how, but back in the days, Andy Reid would not do that in Philadelphia, right? Like he did it first when he had Deuce Staley, and when he didn't have a quarterback, he was running the hell out of that ball. But when he got a quarterback, he forgot all about the damn run game. But what are you about to say?
I'd say let's not forget. You mentioned the Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt led the league in rushing the year they won the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. He had 1,800 yards. People will forget that they just Patrick Mahomes. Yes, Patrick Mahomes is a freaking stud. That's not he's going to be in rare air, but that's not. He was like the Horace Grant of our Bulls. Like he did all the dirty work, all that running, but everyone just looked at Mike. Everyone just looked at Patrick Mahomes, and rightfully so. You had Tyreek Hill. He's another guy. This is just a rookie running back.
Travis
Kelce. Yeah. So you're right. He grew up. He decided he understands run. Complementary football, the term we hear so often, and how much it really, really matters.
I was watching a Football Life Marshall Faulk 2 nights ago, and I remember how I used to be so upset with Mike Martz because the greatest show on turf went so far away from running the rock. And I saw Mike Martz talking about how basically they should have ran Marshall Faulk more. And it just infuriated me because, yes, Marshall Faulk it was so dynamic in how you could play him in the passing game, but you had to take time off the clock, particularly because they scored so fast. Like the problem with the greatest show on turf, they scored too damn fast. It was too many opportunities for the opposing team. And it was like, dog, run that rock and slow this down. You know you got strike power, Shawn. You can score when you want, but slow this down because you're giving the opposing team's offense too many opportunities to get back here on the field.
Yeah, and to me, Marshall Faulk was the dude. He ran it. That the greatest show on turf wouldn't have been a greater show on turf without him.
Oh, he was the engine. And I want to bring that back to the Bears. Another point, just giving Ben Johnson kudos as an offensive play caller, not a head coach. Another reason that he is outstanding and that we don't have to worry, particularly as a blue-collar city, and it wouldn't matter if we are a blue-collar city and he was airing it out. He's a run-first guy. We know he believes in fundamental football, all right? SuperBack, we're talking about he's going to run that rock and use play action, all right? And then everything else comes off of that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yeah, he's not even out here like, I'm about to show you how great I am just by – no. First, we're going to do the fundamentals, and then I'm going to freak you off the fundamentals. You know what I'm saying? And that's what that – like, so when days where – the game's just not going well, and you have an offensive play caller that is just this pass-happy guy, and the ball is on the grass all day long, but you got a guy who's fundamentally like, no, we're going to run and control this clock first before we start doing all of this, that, and other. And again, that's going to benefit the Bears, and also it's going to benefit the defense because you're going to get the defense off the field because you are controlling the play clock.
Yeah, I'm excited about that, and that's a great point that he will never stray away from the run for too long because everything is built off the run. Everything, and you know what I mean? It's built off the run. So obviously talk about the 800-pound gorilla in the room, Caleb. All right. Your thoughts on how he's been coaching him hard, calling him out the other day at camp. You know, he called it a play. I guess he kind of messed it up and he didn't save him. He was just like, basically figure it out. Basically less than 20 seconds. I'm not in the headset. Figure this shit out. And you know what? He figures shit out.
He better. Because he's going to be out there. Like you just said, the headsets go off. You're going to be out here. You want to be him, right? That's what you keep saying. You want to be him. I'm not babying you. Plus, look, real coaching starts with the best. I'm not saying at this point he's the best player, but he's viewed as the best player, right? He's viewed as the franchise, right? And if you can't curse out the franchise, one, the franchise better be on a whole nother level. You know, like, because one, I think you still need to be able to curse out the franchise. But you know how great you got to be to not get cursed out by your head coach? You know, or to stand, but
Tom Brady got cursed out by Belichick all the time. And
there you go. There you go. You know what I mean? Right there. There you go. Like Tim Duncan and Greg Popovich, right? Like you have to be able to call your best player out or the player who's viewed as the franchise. Kid says he wants to get coached hard, and no excuses, because sooner or later the excuses start to mount because you let Caleb get away with that. You let Caleb get away with that, or you play favorites with Caleb. Right now, I'll say this: if Caleb is an all-star, there'll be a little bit more leniency because so many times he saved our asses. We get sometimes you're not hard on him, but still you have to be hard on him. You still have to be hard on him because it sets the tone, as you said. But no, that's what. And also, look, we're not here for Ben Johnson to be soft. No. You know what I'm saying? Like, in all fairness, and I'll say this to you, and I'll mark this right now. Clip this. What happens, and I know it's going to seem crazy, what happens with Ben Johnson is more important than what happens with Caleb Williams to me. I thought about this 2 days ago. I think Caleb will be the quarterback here. And again, this is early, and I could be wrong, but I'll die on this sword. I think the Bears getting Ben Johnson is one of the biggest things that the Bears have done in an extremely long time. Like, there were so many people that told me, bullshit, he doesn't want to come here. And I was like, and this was a Bears fan. This wasn't me being somebody in the media. I was being a fan. I was like, it makes too much sense for him to come here, right? Like, it just does. Yeah. But historically, offensively, when you look at the Bears, you should run away if you got anything to do with offense because it has never worked here for that. For them to get an offensive mind of this caliber, because even if Caleb is just good, I'm into seeing what Ben Johnson can do in 3 to 4 more years with another kid And again, I don't think this is going to happen. I'm not saying Caleb is going to fail. I just think that the Bears may have one of the best offensive minds of this generation as their head coach. And he seems to have the ability to be a CEO in football. We still have to see. He hasn't done any shit. He has not done jack shit as a head coach, right? But it seems like he's not a pushover and that he's studied enough under Dan Campbell and other people, Sean Payton, how to be a head coach. So I think I think the Bears got a chance to have a really great head coach. He may not, there's a chance it may not work, but I think he could be great. And I think that over everything we just talked about, Bill Walsh and Andy Reid, having a great offensive mind leading your organization, dog, that's a decade run. And again, I'm not saying titles, I'm saying opportunities. You know what I'm saying? I'm not. Right. I'm saying bites
in a chance to compete for those.
That's it. Bites at the apple. The Bears. Think about it. When was the last time the Bears have had a 6-year stretch where they went to the playoff 4 years, and they don't include the 80s, right? Like the wins. And so that's really what I'm saying. Like usually for us, the Bears make the playoffs. They go maybe in the next 2 years after making the playoffs. They may go 500 and they sneak into the playoffs because the conference is bad. You know what I'm saying? They'll do that. It'll be one of those, you know what I'm saying, like Lovey's last year or Nagy's last year. It'll be like one of those where it don't really count. Let's be honest. That because we know you're not going to do shit in the playoffs, right? Like it's like, we made it, we here, but we going home. You know, but I think he gives them the opportunity to be good and get bites at the apple. And that's something we're not used to here, where you get those bites at the apple consistently. You lose this 1 year, they may be good over the next 2, but maybe not. And then 3 years later, they get another chance.
So what I like about it, and I think you brought up a great point, is that now we got the guy. We don't have the bakery. All right, we got the chef.
Yes,
we got the guy who made the bakery.
The recipes.
He made that bakery what it is. Now he's at another bakery. Now he's here.
I like that. But you know what else? To go with your point, you talked about Detroit building from within, right? Usually we get the chef, you know, like the guy that's been on with the great. We got the great chef, the Morimoto. I don't know if you grew up watching Food Network like I did, the Bobby Flays, you know, the Baylesses. Like usually we don't get that guy. We get his sous chef, the guy right next to him that gets everything prepared and stuff. Like no, we actually got, to what Shawn just said. We actually got the great baker. We got the actual great baker, the person that came up with the recipes. And usually, I'll say this, usually that person is already a head coach. So the Bears lucked up the fact that Ben Johnson was still just the coordinator. But I'm going to say this, to bring all this great hyperbole back down to earth, he still has never head coached jack shit when it comes to the NFL. And we have to see it. But I think this doesn't sound like, man, I don't know how this is going to be. It doesn't sound as much like that. And that's what I'm looking forward to. It's his first year, but he has a lot more in the cupboard board than a lot of the Bears coaches did their first year. I'm not a Matt Eberflus guy like that, but Flus didn't have anything in the cupboard board. You know, Nagy's cupboard board was pretty nice when they got Khalil Mack. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But a lot of times, you know, Lovey's cupboard board, he had some stuff, but he didn't have to tack the DTs that he need. You know, like but this, when you look at what Ben Johnson has, his cupboard board is pretty full outside of needing some more, a great agitator on the defensive line. Like his cupboard board is nice for his first head coaching job here in Chicago.
Yeah, and I think, and I'm looking forward to that, because I anticipate Caleb doing well. All right, Caleb, he's a competitor. All right, and all competitors, all athletes want to be coached hard. It's okay. It's okay to cuss us out. It's okay, because obviously we're alpha men. We don't take that shit personal. We understand you're cussing us out because you're fucking up for the rest of these guys. And if I want to be that dude, I can't screw it up for the rest of my guys. So you know what? Come down on me as hard as you can, so I don't mess it up, so we can be successful. And Caleb has been nothing but receptive to his coaching, and to me, that's important. But the important part, like you said, is we got that dude, we got that guy, we got. They know it takes the man behind the curtain. We got the man behind the curtain. We got the man behind the curtain. He's making all this shit run. All right, and whether it's Caleb or whether it's someone else, if something happens to Caleb, we got the guy who can do it.
That part.
Okay?
That
And
part.
the reason I say that is because of your point earlier. Jared Goff was a throwaway. We can't win a Super Bowl with him. I know we got here with it, but he can't win a Super Bowl with him. Then he goes and runs the best offense in the NFL for 2 years in a row.
Dude,
under this guy.
If you don't think they thought that they were going to get a quarterback and replace Jared Goff, and Jared Goff basically made them. I remember talking to my Detroit friends, and it was kind of like, man, y'all need to. I was like, do y'all need to get another quarterback? Because this was the first year. It was like, Jared Goff kind of played decent, but maybe y'all should get another quarterback, right? And then you kept saying it was like, nah, y'all guys don't need another quarterback. I'm not saying that you don't want to have a guy in the wins. Jared Goff is still dog. Jared Goff, if we really did it right now, is a top 5 quarterback. Let's just be like, he doesn't get talked about. Listen, Justin Herbert has a great amount of talent. Right now, he's a better player, NFL player, than Justin Herbert. Let's take Mahomes off. Let's take Josh Allen off. Let's take Lamar off, and let's take off Joe Burrow. Tell me who is so those are 4 right there. Who's the 5th guy in the NFL?
Justin Fields.
I wish. Listen, I wish. Listen, if we had do you know how happy I would be? It's something you would say, happy as a pig in slop. If we were having a debate a year from now, if Justin Fields the 5th best quarterback, and some people are like, man, the Bears are stupid. And I'll be with you. And I was a person that was not ready. I wanted Justin to leave because the city had turned. And he was never going to be able to get it back, because once people turn like that, you're never going to be, particularly because the Bears was going to suck too. Have the Bears been good? They were going to be bad, and they was going to be on him. You know what I'm saying? Because look, it's him. And he needs to get out so he can try to get his bread. Like, that was my man. Get out, because you're not going to get that contract here, because the city was against you. But I would like for that to necessarily take place.
I might have one. Maybe Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy might be the number 5.
Okay. If I gave you and said you could have Brock Purdy or Jared Goff, which one would you take?
Whose offense?
That's the problem, because I'll tell you this: I've seen Jared Goff in a couple of offenses. Right now, he's had some really great offensive mind. Now, mind you, Brock Purdy has one of the great offensive mind, probably the best offensive mind in this generation. That's the person I was probably forgetting, Kyle Shanahan. Yeah. But Brock Purdy is so much a system guy. I know physically Jared Goff can do it in different systems. Like, Jared Goff has the height, he got
the Rams in the Super Bowl, and he got the Lions in the NFC title game.
So I mean, if I had my druthers, I mean, I think I'm gonna take Jared Goff, because I think Jared Goff physical he's accurate, but I think his physical gifts allow him to bring players up. Where you saw with the 49ers, when those key players got older and got hurt, it was, Brock Purdy. There's only so much that Brock Purdy can do. So again, I'm gonna take Jared Goff over Brock Purdy. But still, but we're right there though, Sean. So we're saying 5 and 6, right? Yeah. And then this is the thing: the guys above them are studs. Like, we're not. This isn't like back in the days where, for instance, I mentioned Manning and Brady. Manning and Brady did play with a lot of good quarterbacks. You look at Drew Brees back there. I mentioned Donovan McNabb. There was a time when Russell was looked at as a top 5 quarterback or whatever. But in all fairness, they were never like 4 guys like that. And mind you, Justin Herbert is out here floating around in orbit with all the skills to physically one of the best quarterbacks out here physically. All right. When you're talking about arm strength, height, maneuverability, man, Justin Herbert is nice. And I'm not even a Justin Herbert guy, but Justin Herbert is physically, he is nice. But he hasn't won enough to come over anywhere with the 6 guys we just talked about when we added on Purdy and Goff. He hasn't won enough. But there's still guys out here physically where you'd be like, man, I'll take him. You know what I'm saying? So look, we didn't mention CJ Stroud.
Stroud, yeah, you're right.
Right? Look, we didn't mention, and these are guys that we have to see what Jaden Daniels. We didn't mention Jalen Hurts. Right? And there's so many good quarterbacks today. You know what I'm saying? To the point that we're just trying to make what I'm even pointing out how good Jared Goff is, that we're putting him above guys that 3 years ago, he wouldn't have been close in this discussion that we're having right now. You know, and that again, that's on Ben Johnson. But I have to give props to Jared Goff because, dog, to actually throw the ball, that's on you. You know what I'm saying? Like Ben, you like to have accuracy.
You can scheme a guy open, but you got to get it.
You scheme up when you dog, and also scheming up those windows when you fit that meat that bread in that basket like that. I have to give you your props, man. So again, I wasn't a Jared Goff guy. He's proven me wrong. You know, shout out to Jared Goff for again, as we said, he was a throw-in. They were like, here, I'll give you another pick because we need to get this contract off the books for us to be able to put Stafford on our books. We got to get Goff out of here because remember, Goff had a fresh new deal when he got traded away, and everyone thought, well, Goff is going to be there until the contract ran out, and Goff got another deal.
Man, football season can't come soon enough. I'm really happy. The Bears are in a situation that they're in. I'm glad they got the head coach they're in. But also, I'm not just glad about the head coach that they got. I'm glad at the assistants that he brought. The Dennis Allen thing is huge to me. All right, because you not once but twice was he a head coach. So there's not going to be a situation that Ben Johnson is going to encounter that Dennis Allen hasn't been in.
True.
It's not going to be a situation, and that is going to be so huge to have it. And remember how it's basically like Caleb having Case Keenum. Like, hey, Case, you know what I'm saying? You got experience. This must have been the head coach twice.
Mm-hmm.
Twice. It's where he had to work out offense, focus, offense, defense, special teams, timeouts, time management, everything else, field goal, yes or no. He's been all that twice. Now you got someone, and he'll be like,